Today we are going to discuss a new topic. For last 3 weeks we were discussing activity on arrow diagrams. What we are going to discuss today is activity on node. Activity on node. That is the difference. Okay. Last week the technique that we discussed was something like this. This is an example that we have worked out. Right? There. This was the activity. This was the activity. Arrow was the activity. We call these events. And this was the duration of that particular activity. And with the relationships, we drew this diagram and solved this diagram. That is what we did last time. For each of these, for this activity D, this is the activity. This is the duration. This is the start. This is the end. Today, what we are going to discuss is a technique where node is a diagram. This event or node, arrow connecting two nodes. Arrow is the thing that's connecting two nodes. Earlier technique, arrow was the activity. Now, node is the activity. This technique has a little more options than the previous. This technique here, so this is an activity. This is also an activity. And there's a link between activities. So what are the types of links that we know? Finish to start to start. This we have discussed. Finish to finish and start to finish. Earlier, in the previous technique, what we had was this link only. Finish to start link only, because there was no way that you could add start to start activities or any other link. And here we can have all these four, plus we can have leads and lags as well. Leads is how many days before, let's say slab concreting can be started 2 days before formwork finishes. When the formwork is going on, you can start the concreting of other 2 days before. That's a lead. After concreting the slab, you have to wait 21 days to start the upper floor work. That is a lag. Lead, how many days before, duration before, 2 days before something happens. Lag is duration after, how many days after. In the previous case, so this was the early start. This was the for activity A. This is the late start. This is the early finish. This was the late finish. Here we have all this here. Early start, late start, early finish, late finish. And there's a place to write the activity name, maybe excavation or rubber work or whatever, or A, B, C. Activity description is that. And we have discussed the concept called float last time. The duration that can be extended or delayed so that the total project is not affected, project duration is not affected. So that is float. This we have discussed last time. And activity duration we can mark here. The last technique, we found all this. But it is not as systematic as this. Last time we didn't have an option to go for these types of links. We couldn't add leads and lags. It can be done. It can be done. But the things get confused, complicated. And last time we had dummy activities. In this case, we don't need dummy activities because activities are represented by a symbol like this. So this altogether is an activity. Calculation is the same. All the other theories are the same. Here we have more options and more systematic way of handling the situation. So an activity is represented by a box like this. This is also an activity. This is the link. There are 4 types of links that we have discussed. So if you want to represent a finish to start link, what we do is draw a typical arrow like this. This is finish to start. So how can we represent start to start, finish to finish like that? The other types of links. Typically, we take this phase and this phase of the activity to be start, and the other two phases, this one and this one, finish. This is not a rule. It's easy if we take like this. So if we want to draw a start to start link, what we do is this is start and this is start, or we can mark it like this. This is the start phase and this is the start phase of that particular activity. So this line and this line represent the start of that activity. So how can we mark finish to finish? Something like this or something like this. So we can mark all four types of links like that. Let's say this is finish to start because this is the finish phase and this is the start phase of the next activity, succeeding activity. So here in this case is the predecessor, this is a successor. That concept we have discussed last time. So finish to start, let's say with a lag of 2 days. In that case, we write 2 here because the activity duration, we draw it like this, activity duration is here. We don't need to write activity durations in the arrow because this is an activity itself. Earlier case, arrow was the activity, arrow had to have a duration. Here, we don't need to have an arrow, a duration for the arrow. Here, we can mark leads and lags here. That is the concept. So let's work out some examples. This is A is an activity with a duration of 6. Let me draw the typical diagram. So this is the early start, late start, early finish, late finish for a particular activity. This is the activity name and this is the duration and this is the floor. So A is an activity with a duration of 6. So the early start is 6. Sorry, no, this is not early start. This is early finish. Late start, late finish. Sorry. Yes, this is wrong. Huh? This is wrong. So early start, this should be early finish. This is late start, that is late finish. Sorry. So 0 plus 6 is 6, as we have discussed last time. And this is a finish to start link. So if this is 6, the starting day should be 6 here. This is an activity with duration 4. 6 plus 4 is 10. The same calculation as we did last time. 0 is the starting and here 6 is the duration. 0 plus 6 is the early finish day for that particular activity. And finish to start, 6 is transferred here because it is finished to start. This is the finishing time and it is transferred to the starting day of the other activity because this is a finish to start link. It is a finish to start link. Now finish to start with a lag of 4. Lag of 4. 0 plus 6, it's the same. So here we have no issue. Finish to start with a lag of 4 means this finishes at 6. After finishing that particular activity, we have to wait 4 days to start activity B. So 6 plus 4, 6 plus 4 comes to 10 there. So this is an activity with the duration of 4. 10 plus 4 is 14. So this is the way we normally denote that. If you want, instead of writing 4 here only because there are some other types of links, FSAB is finish to start link between A and B, finish to start link with the A and B. Here it is 4. You don't need this for finish to start link. This is just for your knowledge. So you should be familiar with the way that the calculations are done. Start to start, they can start together. Start to start. A and B can be started together. So this is 0. The link is start to start. This is start to start. Start to start from A to B is 0. There's no lag or there's no lead. If they can be started together, this value should be transferred here. This is an activity with a duration of 4. 0 plus 4, 4. 0 plus 4, 4. This is the duration. These are some examples that I'm working out. Start to start with a lag of 8. So can we do that? 0 plus 6. No issue there. It's the same calculation. Activity B should start 8 days or 8 weeks or whatever the duration, 8 days after A starts. So this is 0 plus 8 is 8. 0 plus 8 is 8. So earlier start time that this activity can be started is 8. Finish to finish. These activities have to finish together. So this is the same calculation. This is finish to finish. If the activity is finished together, this value should be transferred here. So then 6 minus 4 becomes 2 here because it's a finish to finish. It's the finish of that activity that is linked with another activity. So this is 6 minus 4. This 6 is this one. This 4 is this one. The finishes X units after A finishes. Finish to finish with a lag of 2. This is the same. 6 is the finishing time. 6 plus 2 becomes 8 here. So 8 minus 4 becomes 4 there. So this 8 is this one. This 8 is this one. because this is the duration of the activity. Then this is A starts X units after X units of time earlier than the completion of B, right? You can think the same way, the same logic. I'm not going into detail of this. So since you know the basics now, I'll give you some time. Try to draw the network diagram first. Try to draw the network in such a way that you can solve later. Now, I wanted you to do this with activity on node diagram technique. Activity on node. This is how we write that. Activity on node. To prepare an activity on node diagram, we need to have an understanding of the activity relationships. This means links. Here, it always says after A, after A. After A means you have to finish A to start the next. That's a typical link that we have. After B and C, after E, after D and E, after E, after G and F. So these are all finish to start links. These are all finish to start links. That is the first thing that you need to understand. So B should be done after A. From A to B, there should be a finish to start link after A. So this is the predecessor. This activity here is the successor. That is the first thing that we need to understand. We'll work this, try to work this out. We'll draw the network first. Now A is an activity. That means we have to draw a rectangle for A. So I'll draw a rectangle for A. I'm drawing this for A. And the duration is 4. This is the only thing that we can mark here. And there are 3 activities. Activity B, C, and D are after A. E should be after B and C. I'm sorry, these are all finished to start. As I told you, left and bottom faces are start, top and right faces are finish. So this is finish to start. E should be after B and C. E should be after B and C. The duration is 4. F should be after E. G should be after D and E. H should be after G and F. F should be after, it should be something like this. F G duration is 3. Here it can be drawn in a nice way like this. So you can draw in whatever the form you want. It's the same way. So what I asked you to draw is basically draw this diagram that I have drawn you. So the network diagram is there. Now it's a matter of solving the diagram. Let me do that here. As the same way in the previous technique, we start with 0 here. 0 plus 4 is 4. Starts at the end of the day 0. That's the first day. The duration is 4. So 0 plus 4 is 4. Can we finish by the end of the 4th day? 0 plus 4 is 4. Now here we have 3 finish to start links. So we have to finish A to start all this. So B, C, D. All should be 4. Why? This is a finish to start link. All these are finish to start links. You have to finish A to start all these 3 activities. Now 4 plus 3 is 7 here. 4 plus 2 is 6 here. 4 plus 2 is 6 here. 4 plus 2. Now for E, there are 2 finish to start links. One finish to start. You have to finish both B and C to start E. Same way earlier, if we come with C, you get 6 here. If you come with B, you get 7 here. We have to take the higher value that we have discussed last time. So 7 plus 4 is 11. For G, if you come from D, you come 6. It comes to 6. E, 11. So you have to take 11 here. 6 or 11. You have to take the higher value. So 11 plus 2 is 13. For F, you get only one finish to start link. So this is 11 plus the 14. F and G both need to be finished to start H. So 13 or 14. I'm not writing the options here because we have discussed it last time. 40 plus 4 is 80. Yes, I'll go with the backward calculation as well. Backward path as well because we know the concept already from the previous technique. Right. If I go with the backward pass, I start with 18 here. 18 minus 4 is 14. 18 minus 4 is 14. For F, you have only one finish to start link. Here, you have to get 40 because this is the starting time of 14. So the link is finished to start. So starting time should be the finish here. 14 minus 3 is 11. Here also you have to get 14. 14 minus 2 is 12. For E, we have 2 finish to start links going outwards, 2 arrows going outwards. If you come from F, you get 11. If you come from G, you get 12. Get the lower value here. Why? We discussed last time. 11 minus 4 is 7. For B, this has to be 7. 7 minus 3 is 4. 3 is duration. 7 minus 3 is the duration. If you come to C, there are two links. If you come from E, you get 7. Sorry, C, you have only one. 7. 7 minus 2 is 5 because this is on the arrow. D, you get 12 here, this 12. 12 minus 2 is 10. Yes. For A, we have 3 links. If you come from B, you get 4 here. C, you get 5 here. D, you get 10 here. You take the lowest value, 4. 4 minus 4 is 0. This 0 is a must. If you have worked out in a correct manner, you definitely have to get that 0. Hopefully there are no issues. Then there's one box that we couldn't fill yet. Float. This box right here. That is the float. Float is the duration. This we have discussed last time. And activity can be delayed without affecting the project duration. Float can be found out, the total float. There are different types of floats that we have discussed last time. I will explain the float and I will answer your questions. Float can be found out by deducting like this. 4 minus 0 minus 4. Why? You have to think with the previous technique. 4 minus 0, that is the latest finish time minus the earliest start time minus the duration is the float. So 4 minus 0 is 4. 4 minus 4 is 0. Here 3, 1, 6. 11 minus 7, 4. This is 0. This is 0. This is 0. This is 1. Now that float we have discussed. Now find out the activities where float is 0. This is an activity where float is 0. This is an activity where float is 0. E, F, H. Those are the activities where float is 0. So there's a path connecting those activities. This path, the path A, B, E, F, H. That is a path along which no activity can be delayed. If any of those activities are delayed, the project duration is going to be affected. C, you can delay by 1 day. D, you can delay by 6 days. G, you can delay by 1 day. So that this 18 is not affected. The 18, the duration is not affected. But any of those activities, A, B, E, F, or H is delayed, the entire project is going to be delayed. So there's a path connecting these activities. We call this a critical path. This is the critical path. A, B, E, F, H is the critical path of this project. So we have solved this particular sum. Now we'll work out the next example. Earlier case you had several activities, maybe 10 activities, around 10 activities. Here we have only 3 activities. We have only 3 activities: steel fixing, erection of formwork, and concreting. Durations are given. For the question that you all have asked earlier, this is how we understand the other types of relationships. At project start, that's no issue. That's at the start of the project. Activity F can start 2 days after S has started. Can start 2 days after S has started. Start to start, S to F with a lag of 2. Can start 2 days after S has started. S start, if I draw a bar chart, this is activity S. F can start somewhere here. This is 2 days. Gap. And there's another link, can finish 4 days after S has completed. This should be minimum 4 days from the finish of this activity to the finish of this activity. There are 2 links between the same 2 activities. So this is a finish to finish from S to F with a lag of 4 days. Finish to finish with a lag of 4 days. Similarly, can start 4 days after F has started. So this is once again start to start from F to C with a lag of 4 days. This one finish to finish F to C with a lag of 1 day. Once again, between this and this, there are 2 links. Between this and this, there are 2 links. Try to draw the network for this. All the theory parts you have discussed by now. Only thing is, this doesn't have only finish to start. Normally we have finish to start links. Here we don't have finish to start. We have start to start and finish to finish links. So I will draw the network and I will solve this one time. Then you can try to understand. S, no issue, is an activity of duration 8. And there are 2 other activities. I will draw that here. Okay, let's say F. F There are two links from F, one start to start and one finish to finish. Start to start, as I told you, these two edges we call them, these two legs we call them start, the other two we call them finish. Start to start we can draw like this. Start to start from S to F is 2. Finish to finish, likewise we can draw it like this. Finish to finish from S to F is 4. F is an activity of duration 16. Likewise, C is an activity with a duration of 4. There's a start to start link. Start to start from F to C is 4. There's a finish to finish link from F to C, that is 1. So this is the basic diagram. Now I have drawn the diagram. The next part is solving the diagram. We'll go with S first. Okay, we are starting with 0 here. 0 plus 8 is 8 here. No issue on that. S, no issue. And to start F, we need to consider the links. There's one link to start from S. There should be a delay of 2 days from the start of activity S. So this 0 is a day that the activity S starts. There should be a 2-day delay. So 0 plus 2 becomes 2 here. Now comes the complication. 2 plus 16 is 18. No issue on that. If it starts on second day and the duration is 16, 2 plus 16 is 18. No issue. But there's a finish to finish link as well. We have to respect this link as well. To finish activity F, there should be a delay. There should be a lag from the finish of S. This is 2 plus 16 and there should be a finish of 8 plus 4 as well. This is the time that activity S finishes. There's a lag of 4. 8 plus 4 is 12. And in the forward pass, we take the higher value. So this becomes 18. Likewise, for the start of S, for the start of C, there should be a delay lag between lag from F. This 2 is there. 2 plus 4 is 6. No issue on that. And similarly, 6 plus 4 becomes 10. And there should be a link. There should be, so this is 10. There should be a link from finish of this active. This finishes at 18 plus 1, 19. So we take the higher value. We have to take the higher value in the forward pass. So it becomes 19. Since the time has already passed, I will do the backward pass with this itself. This becomes 19. No issue on that. No issue on that. So 19 minus 4 is 15. There should be no issue on that. And the backward pass, we find the finish value first, as I told you earlier. So over here, there's a lag of 1 day from the finish of this to the finish of this. In backward pass, we have to calculate 19 minus 1. So it becomes 18. So there's no other link. So I'm going to erase this. There's no other link affecting the finish of that activity. So this becomes 18. So this becomes 18. The complication comes when it comes to finding the starting value. So here we have 18 minus 16 equals 2 from the duration. And there's a link from start of this to start of this. From the start of F to start of C. You have to respect that as well. So this is 15. Minus 4 should also be there. 15 is this value. 4 is this value. That should be there. So we take the lower value. We take the lower value. For the finish of this, there's only one link. This finishes on 18. 18 minus 4 is 14. So this is 14. Again, for this cell, 14 minus 8 is 6. That's for the duration. 14 is this, 8 is this. And we should respect the start to start link as well. This starts at 2 and there's a start to start link of 2. We have to take 2 plus 2 as well. So it has to be 0. This is a bit hard and the figure looks complicated with the way that I have drawn you in explaining. We'll stop it here. I'll let you know the date that the lecture is conducted, right?